Hey everybody, I'm here today to tell you how to get a child to stop hitting. If you have a child that is hitting, or you know a child that is hitting, then these are 6 simple things that you can do to ensure that that child stops hitting. Now let's get right to it. The first thing is that you want to remove the child from the situation as soon as you notice any sort of hitting. So at the moment that you notice that the child is hitting, you want to remove them from the situation. That's step number 1. Get them away from the situation, and anything that is causing them to hit, whether it's another child or a toy, you want to make sure that they are far away from that child or the toy or whatever it is that's causing them to hit. So take them and remove them from the situation. The second step is to verbally tell them to stop. Now, children from a very young age can read your emotions verbally. So if you just say to them, stop or no, with sort of a tone that tells you that tells them that you're serious, that's going to allow them to know what I'm doing needs to stop, simply because of the tone. Even if they're so young that they don't even know what the word no means or stop, if they're hitting and you say no or stop with sort of that connotation around it, then they're gonna know I'd better stop, because that to me means that I'm doing something wrong. So the second thing is verbally tell them to stop. The third thing is that you want to explain the reasons to them once they've calmed down. So when they're still angry, still ready to hit, you don't want to go and explain the things to them, because it's almost going to be in one ear and out the other. You want to make sure that they've calmed down. Once they've calmed down and they're calm, then you can explain the reasons why you remove them from the situation, okay? Explain the reasons to them. Why did you remove them from the situation? Why did you tell them to stop? Why is hitting not a good thing, okay? So that's step number 3, is you want to explain the stuff to them once they've calmed down. Step number 4 is you want to teach them about identifying different emotions. So you want to literally teach them, this is what it means when you're feeling angry. This is what you'll notice when you're about to feel angry. You want to teach them to identify when they're gonna feel angry, when they're starting to feel angry, okay? Teach them how to identify the emotion, because they might not even know that they're getting angry when they get angry, okay? Step number 5 is you want to teach them how to deal with the emotion. So after telling them how to identify it, you want to tell them what to do once they've identified it. That's step number 5. Explain some coping mechanisms to them for dealing with the anger and controlling that anger so that they don't hit, okay? And if you've done all that and your child has understood and everything has gone ideally, then they won't hit anymore, okay? But if they continue to hit again, then you have to go on to step number 6, which is instill consequences, consistent consequences whenever they hit. And you want to make those consequences worthwhile. You don't want the consequences to simply be like a bad look, because that might not be enough. If your child does it again, then the consequence wasn't good enough. It wasn't harsh enough. Maybe it's a 2-minute timeout. And if your child does it again, then maybe the consequence needs to be lifted a little bit, raised a little. Maybe it's a 5-minute timeout. Maybe it's, removing something, like they can no longer play with a certain toy that they really, really like. You want to make sure that the consequence is harsh enough to sort of convince them that hitting shouldn't happen again. And they should be thinking, if I hit, well, guess what? That means that, I'm going to have this consequence, so I shouldn't hit because I don't want that consequence. But if you've done the first 5 steps right and you've taken your time, chances are your child is very, 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 very less likely to hit next time. If they do hit again and you instill a nice, consistent consequence, chances are it will stop. So don't worry. You probably won't have to keep going with the consequences. You'll figure it out. Put it that way. And that's basically it. In this video, I have told you how to get a child to stop hitting. It's a very simple 6-step process. Once again, I'll go over the steps with you just to clarify and to sum it up. Step number 1 is remove the child from the situation. Okay, remove anything that's involved with the situation. Step number 2 is verbally tell them to stop. Step number 3 is explain the reasons to them once they've calmed down, and explain it to them once they've calmed down. Step number 4 is teach them about identifying the emotions associated with anger. Step number 5 is teach them how to deal and cope with those emotions. And last but not least, step number 6 is, create a consequence, instill a consequence on them, a consistent consequence. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what your tips are for dealing with a child that's hitting, and how do you get a child to stop hitting in the comments section down below. And above all, please be sure to subscribe for more great videos just like this one. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.